client asked me a question last night, and I thought, hey, this is kind of something that I'm really big into, and I don't hear a lot of people talking about. So I'm gonna kind of drop some ideas on you guys, and maybe you like them, maybe you won't, I don't know, but to me it's really important. So the situation is we're doing some counter conditioning work with the dog. So what that means is this dog is a little fearful of strangers. So we're literally just having a stranger approach and throw some treats on the ground for the dog as they walk by. And after a few reps, it did what it was supposed to do. The dog, instead of kind of backing away and barking at the stranger, he starts investigating forward at the stranger. And so this is progress, but it's not done. We got a lot of work to do, a lot of work to go. But the dog's owner asked me, she says, how long will it be before he remembers that she gave him the food? And I said, well, that's not really the point. And I told her, when I get up in the morning, I look at my calendar to see what I have for the day, my appointments and whatnot, the dogs I have to train. And with almost every entry, I have an immediate emotional response. Now, don't get me wrong, when I say emotional, I don't mean like, histrionics, I don't mean like anything big, but I mean, I can sense a change in myself, either, oh yes, that's gonna be good, I feel good about this one, I feel confident about this one, I'm kind of looking forward to this one, or I don't feel so confident about this one, there's a problem here, I'm not sure. Now, at this point in time, I may not remember the dog, I may not remember the owner, I may not be able to tell you the breed of the dog at that point, I may have to look that stuff up, but I can tell you right away when I read that name if the last session went pretty well or not, right? Or if overall the sessions are going well. Because I will get a strong feeling, not a strong feeling, a mild feeling, but I'll get a noticeable feeling that, hey, I either feel good about this or I don't feel good about this, even without any memory. And so that's kind of what we're trying to do with counter conditioning. I don't particularly care if this dog remembers that stranger gave him the food. As a matter of fact, I'd much prefer him to generalize that, but I don't even care if he remembers food. What I want him to do is start to go, when people approach me, that often is a good thing. I start to, let me rephrase that. I want him to go, I feel good when I see people approaching. He doesn't have to remember why. As long as he gets that emotional state, the why is irrelevant. And that's why that's one of the things I think people get hung up on when they start talking about counter conditioning, is they're like, oh, I don't want the dog to, if we stop feeding the dog, then he's gonna get, he's gonna go back to being worse or whatever like that. But the whole point isn't to get him to expect food, is to get him to expect to feel good. Now, food is an easy way to get them to feel good, but it's not the only way. And often, once you can get them into that more pro-social aspect, once you can get them more into that pro-social aspect, then that need for the actual food goes away too. And people keep saying, oh, you can't do that, it's too hard. We do it all the time. I don't know what to tell you. We do it all the time. Reduce the food until the dog's working for affection. Happens all the time. It's not a big deal. But I shouldn't say working, because this is the other thing too, is we're not trying to create an expectation of food or even good things. We wanted the dog to, on balance, think overall interacting with strangers makes me feel better than not interacting with strangers. That's it. Overall, strangers are nice. Interacting with strangers makes me feel better than barking and lunging at them. I don't care if they ignore strangers. It's that stressful thing. So that's what we want to create, is that on the balance I feel better. Not this idea that I'm gonna get something. I don't want the dog working. I don't want the dog, prostituting himself out, so to speak. Oh, I will let you pet me if you feed me. I don't want that, and I don't think any responsible trainer wants that. I think what I want is the dog to go, I feel good when I interact with people. There's no reason for me to be afraid to interact with people. Maybe I prefer not to right now. Sometimes I prefer not to interact with people, but there's no reason for me to be afraid to interact with people. All right, so just that kind of cool little thing. I want to create. I think people get hung up on the dog remembering the exact consequences, and I don't think that matters as much as the dog remembering sort of the feeling, right? This thing felt good, this situation felt good to me, or this situation felt bad to me. But just like when I look at my calendar, oh, I feel good, I feel confident, this lesson looks like it's going to be, I have no stress about this, or I have some stress about this lesson coming up for whatever reason. All right, I don't have to remember that dog, I just have to remember, but I still get that feeling. All right, so our emotions are very strong, and I think they're better than memory in a lot of cases, especially for training. So that's all I got right now, so hope you enjoy it. If you did enjoy it, go ahead and click the like button down below. Please subscribe. Leave a comment if you want to. And that's it. I'll see you around. Bye.